Hi guys, DC here. Okay, I'm going to make a little vid that's half a vlog and half of something that I pulled off the internet and I found quite interesting. The little vlog part actually is that, well, fact is my vacation's over, I've already mentioned that, starting work tomorrow, and we've got in the meantime an undesirable guest that has taken his place into our home. Yeah, we've got a mouse that's actually decided to make its residence in our house. Yeah, I don't know if you've had many mice. I mean, I imagine everybody's had at one point or another. They can make a lot of problems. This one has actually been gnawing at some clothes. Actually made a hole in one of my son's jackets, and we've been trying to catch him, but haven't been successful up to now. But it seems, I mean, we've heard it once, and we almost caught it once. We kind of cornered it, and it managed to get away. And it hasn't gone into any of the traps yet. We've got these little traps that they walk in, and if they take something, a little cover closes, and they're caught in a kind of a little cage. Well, we've got other type of traps as well, but pretty smart mouse for the moment, at least. Yeah, if any of you got any fantastic tricks, you can always tell me. Now, just for the American friends, I'm drinking a Sam Adams. We don't always drink Aussie beer, VB. I mean, can't always make the fat Aussie bastard happy, but you can always make the American friends happy every now and then, and show them that we can get Sam Adams here, we can get Miller and Coors and a few other American beers. Yeah, so cheers. The one I'm going to show you, actually, I'll probably have to switch to my webcam. Sorry, go from the webcam to the normal look at me or hear me. I'm going to have to go from my webcam to my normal camera, actually. I went into Google and got some newspaper clips from way back. There's something called the Google Archives. So I'll be back in a second and show you these. They're pretty funny. So I was going through Google Archives and came up with this newspaper called the Granby Leader Mail, which is actually a newspaper we used to get at home. It's one of these little weekly papers that had things going on every now and then, you know, about local news. And I found this was actually very, very informative, and I think the ladies would really like, well, if I can get this, I think the ladies will really like this one, because it shows how in 1954, I'm going to try and zoom that up, here we are, we're almost getting there, here we are, 1954, there was, now you see these two gals. Now I'd like to just notice that they both look very similar. They're both wearing a bikini. But now if you look at this one, there's a little kind of, where if you follow just here, there's a little kind of slit there, which makes this bikini even more interesting, it seems, for ladies. Now, it says, now a new bikini. Laura August Wright of Seattle, Washington models the regular bikini, while Jean Ferguson of Philadelphia wears the new Wikini, a Hawaiian influenced suit that features holes at either side for ventilation. You can be sure both girls would absorb plenty of sunshine and attention at Las Vegas, Nevada, where they modeled the swimsuit. Now I find that actually very interesting, because I thought there was already quite a bit of ventilation in any type of bikini. So why do you need to actually add this little bit, or I would say this little slit here, to get more ventilation? I mean, both ladies seem to be wearing a bikini and have enough exposure. I don't exactly understand. Maybe the gals can explain that to me. What was in the movie theaters in 1954? Well, let's see now. At the Palace in Granby, on the giant screen, the largest in the eastern townships, this is in Quebec, Wednesday night, 8:15. let me see now. Sangaree in 3 dimensions in Technicolor. Also Raging Tide. And here we're coming up to the one that I thought might be of more interest. They don't make them any bigger or better. Jane Russell, Marilyn Monroe, Gentlemen Prefer Blondes. Yeah, so that's what was in the theaters in 1954. Now I'm going to tack on something else to this, which is always very interesting to see how our forefathers, this is 1954, this is not really forefathers, this is people like the age of my parents were actually listening to or watching these movies and reading these newspapers. So now if I'm going to slip down to the next one. Okay, this is in 1957, and I don't think that I'm going to actually go through all this, but this was the type of news that we would get then, and it was like the usual, well, you know, it was the usual going on in a town. So this was Sutton, the town where I was brought up in. So the Men of Grace Anglican Church had planned an oyster and hot dish supper in the parish hall on Saturday evening. Sounds interesting. Okay, I'm back again. The next little clip that I put in was something that was quite interesting, at least I found. It was taken in the Leader Mail, the Granby Leader Mail of 1917. And it was an article saying how people 250 years ago, so 250 years ago from 1917, so you can do the math yourself, were tackling the temperance problem. And you'll see that actually the solution is a very original one. It is creating or building more breweries, beer breweries, because all the cold vapors of beer were much more healthy than hard liquor. So actually I wonder how we would react today if we were said to solve the temperance problem by drinking more beer. Okay, so you can have a read. Well, as you've read it yourself, it's in the newspaper. That means that by taking this beer, I am contributing to the temperance issue. Well, that's DC signing off. Take care.